going on, everybody? Hello, welcome to the Hustling Sideways podcast. I'm Alan Halas. I'm a music writer.
And I'm Jim Love, and I'm a keynote and motivational speaker.
And this is not...
I don't know where we parked our cars, but we are not at Alan's home. Yeah, we're somewhere else. And that somewhere else is a small Jesuit university in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, that Alan and I both went to.
It's a neighborhood. Yes. It is between 6th Street on the east.
20th Street on the west, and from Mill Street on the north to Claiborne Street on this stretch of 90 acres. But we are pumped, honored, excited, grateful, a different superlative, to be here. And way more to come from this space.
Yes.
But we are working with Marquette. Long time coming, and we're pumped about that. But we got a video to roll with you guys today, but we wanted to acknowledge that you don't see the things you normally see with us here, because that would be really weird.
It looks just a little different.
Yeah, welcome to the
podcast.
Nothing's changed.
I just remodeled the office.
Yes, that one's home, actually. We moved the cameras from, you bought a mansion. It's great. Yeah. So we're
it's so nice of the chauffeur to bring
thank you for that. Shout out to your chauffeur.
When we don't have episodes of Hustling Sideways with some of the great guests that we have, we are also doing things like this. We're talking about different things that side hustlers go through, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the unusual.
Yes.
So that's all of what we have.
Going on theme today, we wanted to talk about how our college experience, a la Marquette University, shaped us within our side passions and generally the experience we have. We've talked about Marquette many times in this podcast, which I imagine is one of the reasons why we're here tonight and this worked out. But more specifically, some of the experiences that we had that really pulled us into what it is that we do now. That were significant and worthy of a podcast, and that's why we're here. So Alan, you want to start off sharing a little bit about some of those experiences and how they shaped you?
Yeah, absolutely. I am of the belief, I remember walking out of the day after college, walking down Wall Street, and I was at lunch because I just went right to work the next day. Obviously, I didn't take a day off or whatever. Right? And I remember totally thinking maybe I don't know anything, which is weird to say, you know what I mean? 4 years of college and totally thought okay, real world Alan is here now.
Here we
go. No idea what I was kind of getting myself into. But now, looking back at it, I could say that the craziness of the projects that I did, so I studied digital media at Marquette, and the craziness of day-to-day projects is kind of what kind of geared me up for not only what I do now as my regular job, but my side job as well, running Breaking and Entering, because there's not one skill that I'm great at. I'm just good at a lot of good different things. And every single day...
I disagree respectfully, but carry on, as you were.
Every single day, it's something different. Whether it's my regular job, whether I'm cutting together video, or I'm putting together an audio piece, or whatever it may be, or writing. That is a lot of what I do. You know what I mean?
True.
Or there's social media things. All of those things kind of just play into each other. One day I'm doing one thing, one day... And that comes from stuff that I learned at Marquette because I was working for client productions for Marquette Television.
Yep.
So that was a one-man crew some days where you would set up the set and you would run a relay truck to Madison. We'd do Madison Public Television. Or, I'd be working freelance jobs or I'd be filming things like the 6-Man Fun video that we did.
That was great.
You don't need to see that. It's far. If you look deep on YouTube, it's there.
It's there.
But doing all of those things nothing was the same day to day. And so nothing really felt routine. But now when I have crazy hectic days, today kind of is.
Yeah.
I came here right from a podcast.
Alan and I both had wild days. Sometimes we get behind the scenes. It was a wild day, but you know what? We showed up for you. And I'm pointing at both cameras when I say that.
There's 3.
The third camera too. I didn't forget about you. I did.
But because when I have hectic days like I did today, I can kind of be calm. And that's because not something that I necessarily learned in the classroom, but it's something that I learned in the experience of being at Marquette.
Totally.
And having, a bunch of different things that I was exposed to at the same time, and being able to do all of that. So being able to bounce from one thing to another, that's really kind of what shaped me from Marquette.
I love that. I love that. And I think, the word I use to describe you oftentimes is you're poised. Even in the face of chaos, you're really good at doing 1,000 things at the same time.
I hide it well.
hide it as much as you can. Because I'm not good at that, and I don't hide it well. I had it quite poorly, but I know that was a big part. I also should say, this is backtracking a bit. We mentioned that we're at Marquette. We are specifically at the 707 Hub, which is the innovation hub on campus. I would be remiss if I didn't say that. Amazing spot, much more to come from here, but entrepreneurs from all across campus, alumni, students, mentors, sponsors come here to innovate, to get real, and to create new things. And we thought this would be a perfect spot to talk about our passions here, so we're excited to do that.
So Jim,
yes,
how did Marquette shape you in terms of, what you do now?
Yeah, thank you for asking. Oh boy. In every sense of the word, I was shaped here, and frankly still am, even with the alumni experience. But I look back, and actually, if any of you have listened to my keynote, that I give to high school and college students, and really anyone who will listen, even at like a street corner sometimes, my Marquette experience is a significant portion of that talk. And from doing some student section things back in the day to leading Mardi Gras trips and being a tour guide, all those things really shaped my leadership style, which I know we've talked about this in the past, but I'm like a socializer with a splash of relator, because when I was 16, I was socializer 100%. And then I got a little less selfish and became more of a relator. Not to say that socializers are selfish, but I was. No, fair enough. And so I learned that empathy for humans generally, and for my fellow classmates, being here and being exposed to the teachers, to Jesuits, just to the atmosphere here. And without question, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now today without my Marquette experience. And so I not only realized I wanted to be a speaker, I realized my passion for leadership. I realized how to connect with people. How to really communicate. I know we've talked about this a little bit. Brian Hendricks, we just talked about this in our last podcast. That's the root of all good things, frankly, is effective communication. And the classroom taught me some of that. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I didn't study a lot. I did. It was outside of the classroom. I taught me the majority of it. It was like getting into the neighborhoods here, going on mission trips, doing the things that all overcommitted, wonderful Marquette students do. Taught me everything. And I would say there was that days where I had to balance a lot of stuff. Again, you hide it a lot better than I did because it was typically chaotic. But I learned, my experience was outside the classroom and just learning people. I think that was a big thing. And then I realized I enjoyed being the center of attention and became a speaker as a result in a podcast. So there's, again, without a shred of doubt, that experience has led me where I'm at, why I feel, and I know we talk about giving back a lot, it's my duty to do so. And you and I are on different alumni groups, and it's what I'm supposed to do. And just turned 32 yesterday, and we'll continue doing it. That was a weird way to say happy birthday. But
happy birthday. Sorry,
happy birthday. Thought I'd throw that out there.
I left my card. It's in the car, the valet.
If there's not a check in it, just continue to leave it there. But we'll see. But it was just such a significant component of my life. And Alan and I talk a lot about our college experiences, but coming back here and it's funny because there's a really funny sense of obviously nostalgic. We were right. I walked this place, and also this university looks nothing like it did.
Oh yeah, totally. I did a tour here.
Yeah.
I had to stop in for something. I don't actually remember what. A few months ago, and they gave me a tour of the TV studio I used to work at.
Oh gosh. Oh, that was to film my.
But before that, I had to stop in for something, and they showed me here's the news desk with a complete green screen 360 on it. And I was like, I remember that being the size of a closet.
Yeah.
Or the main TV studio, I remember cameras that looked like they were from a different decade for sure. And now it's top of the line, amazing stuff.
It's incredible.
They've really kept up with the times.
But yes,
to see that and be this is a completely different, world and good.
It's fun to be a part of. No, so there's a level of gratitude obviously here in the States for the experience that we had. We know many of you that listen to this podcast are also Marquette alum, and if you're not, that's okay too. But if figure it out. No, I'm kidding. But if you are, we would love to hear some of your experiences. What shaped you, and what gave you sort of that passion you continue following? And there's a reason why you still listen to the show after a year and a half or 2 years.
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, it's 2 years.
They've been listening to us for 2 years.
Well, I'm going to say that they tuned in the first 6 months.
Good point. It's what's the matter with you people? That's a long time. But that's really what shaped what we do. And Alan and I both have differing, passions and that sometimes intersect, but it's really kind of cool to hear that. So on that note, you typically close us out.
Yeah, I was going to say, tell us about your college experience, how that kind of formed what you do, maybe in your job, maybe in your side hustle.
Mm-hmm.
We want to know, so obviously there's comments and all those sorts of things.
Bring them on.
And if you're listening to this podcast for the first time,
welcome.
Thank you. Welcome. Yes. You can subscribe to this podcast wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us. We are Hustling Sideways on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok as well.
We always forget that. That's
the last. It's the new one.
Yeah,
that's still new
true.
to me.
That's true.
And if you want to be a guest on the show, if you want to be on the stage,
we'll make room.
There's another chair over there. So use that.
We promise. There's 2 of them. We can even get 2. Time will tell. I'm going to move back over.
You do that. Yeah. No.
Okay.
But if you want to do that, drop us a line, hustlingsideways@gmail.com. And don't forget to like, subscribe, all the things that we say.
5 stars is the only rate we're allowed to give.
Yeah.
That's actually a legal thing.
Yeah, that just helps us out. Otherwise, we don't get to go back to Marquette. That's how it works. So, anyway, in the meantime, we will see you next time on the Hustling Sideways podcast. And Jim,
keep on hustling.